Mom, I have poop.
We are mildly crushing it. Where two exhausted moms try to make sense of this wild ride called raising neurodivergent kids.
We're not doctors and we're not therapists, and you probably shouldn't take our advice. We cuss like sailors and drink like pirates.
Just think of us as your inappropriately funny and brutally honest support group.
So grab a drink and lower your expectations.
Because the truth is, we need this, and we're going to keep doing this whether you're here or not.
We just hope you join us. Hi, everybody. I'm Sadie.
I'm Morgan.
And welcome to Mildly Crushing It.
Every time we say that, I'm like, I can't believe we're still doing this.
Seriously, every single episode.
Yeah.
I was like looking through all of our episodes the other day and I was like, 16? We've been doing this for so long.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so it's super exciting. Actually, we've been doing it for so long that we are finally going to make space for a studio.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to take us a little bit to create, but hopefully by the end of summer, we will have a really beautiful podcast studio to record from. So,
oh my God.
Yay! No, just kidding.
Thanks, Blake.
Thank you, honey. You're so kind. He's graciously giving up his work from home office so we can podcast here. So, well, yeah, he's graciously. We'll say that. Happy wife, happy life. We're gonna go with that.
Right. What are we drinking today?
Our house cocktails. I should have asked you that today. What are we drinking?
Our house cocktail in some really cool cups that are not meant for cocktails.
But they're so cool.
They're so cool, so we wanted to use them, and then we added a straw to them, so we're just breaking all kinds of rules, and
I like it. I'm gonna let it go.
that's
Usually
the
I'm
mood
weird.
we're in.
Usually I'm weird about vessels, but I'm gonna let this fly.
Oh, I break all the rules with all the vessels.
I love this, and I'm kind of obsessed, so this might be my new favorite thing to do.
I really do like drinking cocktails out of wine glasses. There's something about it.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
But I love this. I'm obsessed, actually, because this is big enough.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about this.
Anyway.
What are we talking about today?
So, this comes up for me a lot because I drop the ball all the time. All the time. So, I wanted to talk about when we drop the ball because of actual true special needs parenting overwhelm and just that feeling of, you know, do we just kind of eat it ourselves? Do we be honest and explain what's going on? And just how that plays out so often in our lives. And then that relates to what you were saying.
Yeah, I want to talk about, I mean, I feel like these just go perfectly hand in hand, which is why we're such a good team.
To that.
But, you know, just about the woman I used to be and the women that we all used to be before we stepped into this life. And do we miss her? And just kind of a different spin, I don't know, on how we view that. I was sad for a really long time, like mourning the person I was, but then I realized I've just morphed into someone that I think is great. That is, you know, I love myself way more now than I did back then, and the person I am. So I feel like that's also really important to talk about.
Yeah. Let's do Mom Guilt Bingo.
Get your bingo cards out because it's time for Mom Guilt Bingo. Yay!
Yes, my Mom Guilt Bingo I already have real fast. It's Memorial Weekend. I was such a lazy bitch all weekend.
Yes.
Like lazy bitch. We barely left the house.
Good for you.
And so I felt
that's really hard for Sadie.
I felt really guilty. But it was so effing needed. I've just been, like always, you know, and we all feel tired to our fucking bones.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to just like lay around, wear my pajamas till 1 o'clock every day. My husband was gone. It was just very like low key, low maintenance. One night my mom had Miles and it was just like Ellie and I. It was in bed at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
It was just a very mellow weekend.
Wait, so what are we feeling guilty about?
I felt guilty that I didn't take them anywhere to do anything. I felt really guilty I didn't take them to like a park or take them to anywhere. Are you filming right now? Yeah.
Hi.
Want to poke your head in and just say hi? No. My daughter just got home from school, so we're at my house today, by the way. I think I forgot to say that. So when you hear Elliot running wild or a loud iPad or people walking through the door, that's why.
She has clothes on today, though.
I know.
That's a Well, let's
she was
save the weird
waitressing.
wins, I guess.
Oh yeah, because that is going to be my weird win.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mom guilt bingo was just being extra lazy this weekend, and it made me feel kind of guilty.
Yeah.
So
Mine is, mine's feeling very guilty about just kind of the way that I showed up for Ada before having her diagnosis.
that makes so much sense.
And I never wanted to be that mom that I always wanted to be just the mom that was, you know, the same no matter what it is, no matter who my child is, no matter what's going on.
Yep.
I just wanted to show up just as who I wanted to show up as.
Yep.
And I couldn't do it. And I think a lot of it had to do with fear, you know, like overwhelming situations feel so much heavier when there's so many unknowns.
Yep.
So even though now we still have unknowns with Rett syndrome, it at least it's narrowed down, I guess. And you know, I don't know. It's just been like really, really heavy.
Yeah, I freaking bet.
Yeah. Like we were at a soccer tournament this weekend out of town. And just the version of me that would show up. I mean, you know, I was doing my best and like always tried to be positive and, you know, and go with the flow and everything. But
Just hits different, huh? When you have that diagnosis,
Yeah.
it really does. I feel like, I mean, it's just something no one wants to say,
right.
but it's just so true. Something about that
Right.
diagnosis, even though we all say it doesn't matter if there's a diagnosis or not, or it doesn't matter
It doesn't matter what the label is.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Everyone should be accepted, but
Yeah.
there really is a huge acceptance piece
I
that
think
we
for
don't
us,
talk about.
as the parent.
Yeah. Seems a lot, and I feel like we're all like, it doesn't matter the label. They all need to
Yeah.
be treated with respect and patience, and
Yeah.
there's just something that, honestly, this is spicy, but it just makes it easier.
Yeah.
It just makes it much easier to almost handle when you have that diagnosis. And
Right.
it's fucked up, but
Yeah, she's old enough now that it's becoming more apparent to other people. Mm-hmm. And, you know, just having the conversation, you know, like, oh, she's special needs. And like she was playing with a toddler, like they had a little girl gang and it was so adorable. And like the fact that Ada was even there with them was
it's
like
huge.
And I loved it. And it was like a third grader down to like a 2-year-old. And, you know, the mom of the toddler came over and was like, I don't know, she's getting really, really rough. Like, are we like, you know, is that, you know, Dave and I were like, oh my gosh, we're more worried about Ada, you know,
Right.
being too rough. And that's one of those conversations where it's like, you know, yeah, because she's special needs, she needs reminders on those boundaries sometimes.
Yep.
And before this diagnosis, it was like David and I couldn't say that with confidence.
Yep.
And now we can. And I wish that we didn't ever have to, of course, but that's not the world we live in. And
It's not. And like I've said before, I've been very open about just being like, she's fucking special needs.
Yeah.
Like when we get stared
Yeah.
at, and it's pretty fucked up that we even have to say those things.
I
But
know,
it
but
just,
it's
for some
true.
reason, helps people make sense of
yeah,
what's going on.
yeah,
I don't know. It's fucked up.
yeah.
Fucked up all the way around.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So what brought this topic up for me that we're going to get into is the soccer stuff. There's a local tournament coming up that I had forgotten to sign up for. And so I had to tell the team manager, which by the way, the manager position is so ridiculous in this scenario. Like I would not wish that upon my worst enemy already. And then I'm having to be like, hey, will you do some extra work for me because
Right.
I forgot. You know what I mean?
It's not like you've had a lot of things going on.
Right. That's what brought it up. So I'm in this group chat
that
with
makes so
all the
much
team
sense.
parents
Okay. Oof.
having to be like, is it too late to sign up for that? Because I meant to. And what I wanted to say was, when you were bringing that up, I was drowning
Right.
in new diagnosis mode and, you know, like, I mean, just in general,
Yep.
special needs parenting world, I was just
You're
drowning.
drowning in life.
And it was like those messages were coming through in that time. And it was like, if a fucking piece of paper landed on my head, I would crumble.
Yep.
Like, I can't take one more thing on. And so I dropped the ball for my son. And so I had to ask her to do extra work. And I sat there and I looked like a flake, which, I mean, I am. Let's be really honest, okay?
I'm dead.
Like, the reason this comes up for me so much is because I am so flaky.
Gotcha.
Like, I have ADHD. I drop the ball all the time. I'm used to it. And so often I will just swallow it and just, you know, yep, sorry, that's just who I am. And that's the truth. But when there is an understandable reason,
Yep.
it's not that I want it to be excused, but I do love an understandable reason why I dropped the
Same.
ball, you know?
100%. Yep.
And I was left in this position of like, do I come clean?
Right.
And then like, like, you know, do I get together with this mom privately next time I see her and explain out of the blue, like, that's not needed. That's awkward, you know? So then I'm just a flake again, which is true, but also again,
Not in this case.
understandable reason
Yeah.
why.
And what can you do?
Yeah. And like,
Like, what
just
do you
how
do?
many scenarios are we put in like that where it's like, I can look bad. That's fine. Also, I can be honest and tell my truth, and then I'm getting pity.
See, I always wonder if people believe me or not.
That too.
I always
That
am
too.
like, well, I bail all the time. Or like, we can't do this because Ellie, and we can't do this because Ellie. And I wonder if people are like, bullshit,
Right.
because they don't know.
Right.
So I always am like, do people think I'm just a liar and just like a big flake?
Well, and to be clear, like
So to me,
we
that's what gets
own-
me.
We own the fact that it's not because of Ellie. It's not because of Ada.
No, it's a situation.
It's because of me and my lack of capacity to cope.
Oh, 100%.
the
Sometimes I'm
situation.
like, thank you for
Yeah.
getting that fucking out there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like, oh, Ellie could probably deal, but I am in no fucking headspace to try to
Yeah.
contain her and to
Yeah.
try to just,
To even try, period.
I'm just not in the headspace to be able
And
to
that's
try.
okay too.
That's why I just like to stay home a lot. It's just easy. We're all happy. I know that's not the way to do all the things. She has to learn to be out in the world. All of that is so important, but I'm so tired all the time. It's so much easier to stay the fuck home.
And that's valid. And that needs to be okay too. And it doesn't make you a liar because you know, just shorten all of that. You summarize all of that by saying it's because Ellie. Like
Right.
that, you know, of course. But also, there's such a valid reason we're so fucking tired all the time.
Yeah, it's so much. We just went to a barbecue this weekend and I actually took her to Ryan's. Mm-hmm. And thankfully it was just us and two other families that she's really used to being around. And she kept taking her clothes off to like change to go outside.
Did you bring her tent?
Yep, I did bring her tent.
How did you
We were there
use
for
it?
3 hours.
What?
Yep, we were at a house for 3 freaking hours.
And
which
she
never
used the
happens.
tent?
Yep, and it was so nice.
Stop.
She wore clothes in the house. I brought her like a short, comfy short set.
Mm-hmm.
And then I brought like a onesie to put on her if she went outside. So she like just kept stripping down in front of everyone, you know? But
Yeah.
it was just so nice because my friend's husband was just like, oh, who the fuck cares? And I
Yeah.
was just like, thank you. For just, because I was like,
Absolutely.
Ellie, come here. Even though they were all our really good friends, I was
Yeah.
still like, well, she's 7 and just getting naked in front of
Yeah.
everyone, you know? And
Yeah.
it's probably not the best for her to just be like taking off her clothing in front
Well,
of
sure.
humans. And
But that's a perfect
but
environment
they
for her
were
to
just
go to
like,
and learn.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
For some reason, I super just needed him to say that when I didn't
Right.
realize I needed it, you know? And then
Right.
it instantly made me just feel
Yeah.
so much better. And then she was in the yard and she was trying to ride around on like their little battery operated quad. And I was really afraid she was going to run over a little baby. Well, not little baby, but a little girl that was there. And so I was like trying to rip the battery like out of the thing. And I was like, I'm just going to say it's dead. And the same guy that brought up the clothing, he was like, kids are kids. Like, just let her have fun. No one cares. The kids will move out of the way. And if not, it's just what you learn when you're a kid. And I was just like, you're making my life so happy right now. And I don't think you understand that, like, just a little comment like that is so helpful whenever you are out.
Like, it's so easy to say to ourselves that, like, we're going to have the confidence. We're not going to give a shit. We're going to be laid back. And then we show up.
And it's so hard not to.
Right. And like, you don't want to knock over a little baby with something that's, you know, that can be avoidable.
Yep.
You know, and like, yeah, there's other kids that are going to ask questions and that's uncomfortable. So no, keep your damn clothes on, you know, but like also the reality of that situation is like, there is no more perfect environment for her to learn these things.
Yep, you're 100% right.
And the only way to learn these things is to do the quote unquote wrong thing to be, you know, righted by mom.
It was a good place for us to be. It ended up being a super nice environment for her to go and be at. And we did good. So it was,
I know.
It was good.
I was thinking about like just reflecting on that feeling last night in the group text. I feel like my glass is really loud and
they
yours
are
is
loud.
Yours is like very still.
No, because it's so loud. I'm like, no, guys hear that shit? It's so loud. Maybe that's why you don't drink ice out of champagne flutes. They're not noise proof.
And glass straws. Whatever, we're breaking rules.
I like it.
Yeah, I was reflecting on this, like, you know, as I was laying down in bed last night, and I was like, you know what? I'm so lucky that I have the group of friends that I do.
Right.
You know, even outside of your group of friends that are now my friends, because they have not faded away, first of all. And I have been, you know, incredibly open and blunt
and I think
about our situation. And like sometimes it feels like pity because that's just what it feels like. It's not anyone's fault.
And I also just think that's a normal human reaction.
Right. Like, oh man, I can't relate. I don't know what else to say.
Yep.
But also I just am not put in that position very often with you know, our close friends. And I'm so grateful for that. Yep. And yeah, I don't know. We're just really lucky.
We are really lucky.
I feel like with another place that this comes out for me is with teachers.
Gotcha.
Like all the little stuff, like Teacher Appreciation Week. And like we found out about Ada's diagnosis while it was Teacher Appreciation Week.
And I love what you did though, and you wrote that nice note.
Yeah. I mean, but that was like very last minute, and oh my God, I made that mistake with the fucking gift cards. What the fuck?
I was kind of happy I got gift cards for Teacher Appreciation.
I know, you're welcome. No, but that's another area that I'm a fucking flake, and like my brain just literally like fucking doesn't work. And I thought I was buying 5 $10 gift cards, and I bought 5 4-packs of $10 gift cards. So if you do the math, which I'm not going to tell you how long it took me to actually sit down and do the math.
Well, what did I do?
I spent $200 in gift cards, and like the things I could have done for those teachers for $200, you know?
Right.
But anyway, it worked out. I sold a few packs, and
I guess I never really think about, like, our friend group is so understanding. We've surrounded ourselves with such a group of humans that just like gets it and knows it. I haven't had a lot of experience with the outside.
Yeah.
Like you just said, like with the soccer situation.
Yeah.
I've never been in that situation.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of experience outside of our friend group, I guess.
Well, you know what's funny? And I mean, what I was saying was like, I when I did that mistake with the gift cards, it was the morning of our genetics appointment. So yeah, of course my brain's not working. And I can explain that to so many people and they'll be like, you did what?
Right.
And you didn't stop at the register?
I didn't
and
even
like,
bat an eye. I was like,
yeah.
I'll buy some.
Right?
Just laughed at you.
And then, but then it was like also that week and like these teachers deserve so much more than like what I did for them, you know, but that's what I was capable of in that moment.
Dude.
And then what I was thinking about with this topic was like, Sadie doesn't really drop the ball.
Oh my God.
Ever.
I feel like.
So I felt like this was going to be a good one for us to unpack because.
It is. I feel like last year, for example, I made everyone homemade Kahlua and homemade biscottis for like Christmas, all the staff at school. And then I like brought in homemade scones for teacher appreciation last year. And their end of the year gifts were all so cute and well thought out. And then this year I've done nothing.
Yeah.
And then you bought those gift cards and I was like, oh yeah, it's teacher appreciation. I haven't done one fucking thing. Like last year everyone got cute like coffee mugs and coffee and I like did all this cute little things. And then this year I've done nothing.
Yeah.
Gave them some gift cards and wrote a cute note. And I just, I've been trying to, instead of killing myself when I feel like a ball is dropping or something, to like make sure it happens. I'm trying really hard to just be like, that's okay. And that's like what normal humans do.
Oh, totally.
I'm trying really hard to just be like, stop pushing yourself. Because then I don't drop the ball, but then I'm dropping it in other ways. I'm like a cranky, tired asshole at home. And, you know, there's
because you're feeling
something's
guilty.
always suffering. And it just, that's what I just feel like you're thriving in one area, which means you're not thriving in another area. And
which is motherhood in a nutshell.
Yep.
100%. And one thing about me is like, I'm very used to dropping the ball. And so I don't guilt myself because if I did, I
dropped the ball and I'm just like, oh God, someone just put me out in the pasture and killed me. Like I just, it's bad.
Oh no, I just word vomit until I find someone else that also dropped the ball. And then I feel better. I just overshare all the time.
Like I actually felt like for Miles when he was in theater and stuff just now, I wasn't even like checking the emails. And I was just like, hey, Brittany, what is happening? Our friend whose kid was also in theater.
I do that too.
And I was just like, what is going on in theater this week? Where are the practices?
Oh my gosh, I do that too.
And I'm like, this is so annoying. Sadie, check your goddamn email and just like write the shit down on the calendar. And I felt like I was majorly dropping the ball all theater.
Also, we're keeping track of meds and doctor appointments and IEP meetings.
Honestly, it felt really good that I could rely on
the daily.
Brittany.
I have a friend like that too. I asked a friend to tell me
Thank you, Brittany.
Yeah, yeah. I asked my friend Yanni to tell me when summer school signups were. And it was like months before it happened. And then she texts me out of the blue like, hey, I think you asked me to let you know.
God,
and I was like, how the fuck did you remember? I don't even remember having that conversation.
Oh, I love that she did that.
Yeah. I was so impressed that she remembered. And sure as shit, I signed up right off the bat, you know, because of her.
Good. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
Good job.
But I don't have a friend like that in soccer yet.
That's seriously how I felt.
I haven't found my shoulder to lean on yet.
It's a lot.
You know?
And
not that they're not there.
I never dropped the ball really, but theater was definitely something I was just like scatterbrained about. And then I felt bad because I'm like, the poor kid does nothing anyways. This is like the one time I need to just like focus on him, and I still couldn't even freaking pull my head out of my ass.
Right.
It happens.
Dude.
This year my head has just been up my ass, and you know, I'm just trying to accept it. Next year will be better.
You know what though? I think with you, if I may.
Go ahead. Do it. Do it.
I feel like you're letting your like what's the word I want to use?
Don't worry about
you're taking off your mask a little bit.
Yeah, that might be it.
Like in a really good way.
Thank you.
Because I mean, you're still.
Oh, that was adorable. She's laughing at you. She's like, call my mom out, girl. Call her
right?
out.
Oh my God. No, like you still go above and beyond in like almost every area. But I think that you're allowing yourself to be a little more authentic with that. Yeah. And it probably feels very uncomfortable and out of control.
Does.
But
Feels very uncomfortable and out of control.
but I would encourage you to like lean into that instead of like, okay, maybe next year will be better. Like, no, maybe this is the new you
And that's okay.
and you're just more human.
Right.
And that's okay. Yeah. Like, you know, because we aren't supposed to have all the balls up in there at the same time.
Right.
That's not motherhood.
This just totally leads me into just how I feel like, you know, I was trying to research some topics and ideas, and it came up with the whole, I miss how I used to be, but then how to reframe that idea. And you've said before, like you and David had all these great hobbies that are really hard to do. And so we really miss the person we were before. And the old me like didn't drop any balls ever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that has been a hard thing for me to try to accept, I guess, is that I'm different in that way.
I love that you brought this up because I love topics that we are different on.
Different on? I knew it. I knew
I
we were
don't
gonna be
miss
different.
the old me at all.
See, I miss parts of it.
Yeah.
And then after I was researching and like looking up ideas about this episode idea, it just made my brain just a really big aha moment of just like, no, I've just evolved into someone different and the old me is not gone. She just shows up in different ways. I just feel like I'm trying to really reframe and be okay with the new version of me that drops balls. And, you know, I'm realizing that I do like who I've become. And there is things I miss. Like the one thing I missed the most about the old me was just how free I could be all the time.
Oh, I miss that for sure.
I just really miss, I was reading a thing and it was like, what's the one thing that you miss the most before becoming a special needs parent?
Yeah.
And it was just the easiness of life, honestly.
Yeah. I miss that, the spontaneity and like, as well. And then for me too, that plays into my relationship with my husband.
Gotcha.
Like, excuse me. Like, we thrive when like he can kind of be in charge and I can just be loosey-goosey, like, what are we doing? You know?
Right.
And that's not this life.
It makes it
And
so
it took
hard.
us years to adjust to
That major flip.
me having to be like the one in the know as far as like our family function.
Oh, I never
stuff.
ever knew that or thought of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, there's a certain amount of that transition.
Loosey-goosey, I love that.
Oh God. Like my husband, like,
Are they gonna be too loud in there?
it's whatever. We got our mics on. So
Cool.
yeah,
We're
you
good.
probably can hear stuff, but it's real life.
Ellie has ABA therapy right now, so
It's
that is what's
real
happening
life.
in the other room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he like loves to treat me like, you know, a princess, and I love to be passenger princess and like,
Dude,
you know,
Same.
drink my wine wherever we go.
Same.
and-
I'm like, who's sober driving? I don't
Yeah,
damn
right?
well who's driving my ass home from dinner, and it's definitely my husband. It's not
Right,
even like
there
a
is-
question.
yeah,
I ask
exactly,
it, but it's
yeah.
never what's happening.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so there's a certain amount of that transition that happens naturally with motherhood anyway. But then you enter in, you know, all the things, the doctor's appointments, the
medicine,
assessments, the medicines, the
Insurance,
the
freaking-
researching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Insurance,
fucking
what covers this,
therapies.
what covers that, what this doctor said, what this teacher said. We have an IEP now. And,
Yep.
you know, especially with me not working anymore at all, but, you know, back then it was
This
as
shit
much.
is a full-time job.
It is a full fucking time job. I am constantly the one that has to have it all together, and that's not me naturally. So yeah, it took us a long time to
Man, I bet.
transition,
Never even knew that.
and we're figuring that out for sure. But that, I would say, I miss the ability to be like spontaneous and free and
Gotcha.
let's go do this, let's go do that. That
wonder
I
if-
really, really miss.
I feel like
But
that's probably pretty common.
that's not a version of me. That's a version of life.
True.
You know what I mean?
The one thing that's really helped me in this life, this new new evolution of myself. I used to be really bad with change. I still am pretty bad with change. I love a schedule. I love to know exactly what is going on. When we go to town, like all the restaurants are planned. Everything is mapped out. It's just how I work best. But the unknown with this has been something really hard for me to accept, but also I think something that I needed to change and deal with anyways. And it kind of just like
What
helped me do that.
specific unknowns are you talking about?
Day-to-day unknowns. Like literally I do really bad with unknown
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Change in any schedule. You know, it even throws me off if we're like supposed to podcast and then we don't podcast that day and I'm like, oh my God, now my whole week's off because I like didn't do that one thing.
Yeah.
But really, what is it hurting if we do it Thursday instead of a fucking Tuesday? You know?
Right.
But that's how I've always been, just major anxiety over any change that's not my regular or not scheduled.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is something I've really learned to embrace more is the fucking change
Yeah.
in day-to-day life. Things are not going to go as planned ever.
Yeah.
So that's a really big positive that I've like came out of this life with so far,
That's good.
for me anyways.
I mean, we have a whole new world of unknowns right now.
You have a whole new world.
Because of the new Rett syndrome diagnosis. And I mean, it's new. We're just learning about it. So it has been a little bit hard to not live in the unknowns of that, like the
Well, it's
longer
brand new.
term.
Just to make this clear, I am like 4 years, over 4 years into our
known
for sure
world.
diagnosis and known
yeah.
world. I mean, she was 22 months when she was diagnosed with autism.
Yeah.
25 months-ish or 20, I don't know. She was under 3 years old when she was diagnosed with epilepsy. And she's 7 now. Like we have been, we've been living this unknown but known life for a long time now.
Yeah.
And so it gets easier with time. You're still fresh.
I mean, you're a planner. I'm not a planner.
I'm a huge fucking planner.
Like I used to
goes
be able
wrong.
to plan the night before what my day was going to be like the next day.
Oh my God, I'm so dead. I'm like sitting down on a Sunday, mapping all my shit out.
Oh no, that gives me anxiety. Now I'm so bad that I'm like lucky if I check my calendar in the morning and like map my day out.
Oh, I'm dead.
No joke. I was taking Harvey to school the other day and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll be at pickup. And then I was like driving to school and I was like, Morgan, what the fuck are you talking about? Like the therapy changed today. You have to go pick up Ada, bring her home, leave her there, go do this, go do that, then pick up Harvey. So he has to go to ASB and then you have to go to, I was like, Morgan, what the fuck? Like,
Oh yeah.
never been a planner. Yeah, I'm lucky if I check the calendar in the morning.
I literally
It's so bad. Sadie.
look at my calendar and I pull up the whole week.
It's so bad, and it drives my husband nuts. It drives him nuts.
I did not realize what a
Understandably.
switch you guys had to do. That really just blows my mind. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a massive transition. We went through a long, really hard phase.
That is a lot.
Yeah. But I handle changes day to day pretty well. It's the long-term unknowns that I can really get stuck in.
See, I've learned to do the day-to-day, and my husband has learned to take on that future for me because I can't do it anymore with, that's one thing. I'm always like planning for the future, and honestly, it wasn't good, like kind of watching life go by because like, oh, we're doing this in 2 weeks. So I'm just like trying to get through life until those 2 weeks, if that makes sense. And that was really not a great quality in me, and I feel like that's not there anymore, which is
That's good.
which is a big positive. I honestly just feel like a much nicer, calmer person.
You're couch rotting more often.
I've been couch
than when
rotting,
we first met.
and it's weird, and I like it.
Excuse me.
I read a whole book in one day,
Whoa.
from cover to cover.
Okay, I know that your productivity can get to you. So
what it was.
how are you feeling about the lack of productivity?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do like 20 hours of cleaning on the house and just catch up.
Okay, so
But-
you make up for it.
So I'll make up for it.
So are you getting down on yourself less now when you're resting?
Yes. I'm trying really hard to rest. That's something I really
good.
need to do.
That's good.
To not be a monster. And so I'm trying really hard.
Yeah.
Then I rest for 2 days and I'm like, look at this house. It's a pigsty.
Yeah.
But I'm doing much better. So
Yeah.
that's been good for me. I don't know. I've learned a lot of patience, I guess.
With yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm trying really hard to
Yeah.
give myself grace. And it's just coming with time. But
I think that's the version of me that I remember most from before this life is like I was trying to put on more of a facade and trying to make it look like I had all my shit together. And so if anything, this life has like shown me that that's so over, what's the word?
overrated?
Yes, thank you. Oh my God, you knew my word I was looking for.
Of course I know your word.
We have been doing this for a while, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah, it's so overrated to look like you have all your shit together.
It is.
It really
And I'm
is.
learning that, and it's going to be okay. But is it because my kid's special needs that I feel like it's overrated? Do I throw that part around too
Well,
much? Or is it okay because
honestly-
that's just the fucking honest truth of it?
No, honestly, probably so, but not in a negative way.
Yeah, exactly. Not in
Yeah.
a negative way.
Yeah, like you probably wouldn't have come to this conclusion.
I feel
if
like
it weren't
I've
for
changed
Elle.
100% for the better.
Yeah, I know.
because of
I have.
Elliot.
Yeah.
And I am just much more patient, much more loving, much more flexible. So many things that I honestly would not be if it wasn't for my special needs child. So
Yeah.
I guess
I'm much more easy to admit that I'm a shit show, which I thought I was before too. So that says something.
I'm dead.
But if I can make anyone else feel better who's around me,
Right?
I'm happy to
Perfect.
do so.
Doing it.
But also before, I was scared to say anything that would make someone uncomfortable around me. And now I couldn't give two shits.
Do you miss qualities in the old you that don't exist anymore? Do you have qualities that don't exist anymore since becoming a special needs parent that you miss? That's my question.
I mean, other than the ability to be spontaneous, I don't think so. And
I feel the
honestly,
same fucking way.
like I said, that's not a version of me. That's a version of life in general.
See, and I didn't think that way until you said that. And
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
'cause
you're
I
right.
could
It's just a version of life
still-
that's not me.
Yeah, I can still be spontaneous as shit, but that's not good for my
Life.
kids.
Yep.
So I'm not going to do that. And that's okay. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't miss the old me at all. And like, even I think about when we were set on this journey, and I mean, the shit I had to overcome time and time again. I mean, my poor daughter's been assessed probably 7 times.
So fucking much.
And to be sitting there and just over and over, oh, she's a mystery. And
Cool
the
fucking
shit
story.
I had to overcome to continue to advocate as like fiercely as I did. I'll never like hold a grudge for that.
Right.
Because, I mean, I wouldn't be here.
Right. I feel like I'm 100% a better person since having Ellie
Yeah.
in all the ways.
Yeah.
She just changed me. I mean, I'm also living in constant fight or flight, and
Oh,
things are really
yeah.
fucking hard. But at the end of the day, I love who I am now. And it took me a long time to get to that point. But I feel like I would not be as good of a person as I feel like I am or try to be if it wasn't for Elliot and the
Yeah.
life. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hopefully our other kids grow up thinking the same thing.
Right? Takes a lot of work, but it's there.
Yeah.
Well, you got to get there. And I feel like I've finally put in enough work. Well, it's an always putting in work situation. But
Doesn't stop.
yeah. And also just your view on life.
Oh, 100%.
So I'm
Which-
trying to see the positive. There's so
Yeah.
much positive in this life, but there's
Yeah.
so much hardness. I don't want to take that away at all. And I also don't want to be like, there's no beauty in this life.
Right.
Because there's so much beauty in this fucking life. But
I think that, I mean, to bring things full circle, I think that that's one reason I am a little more like just, I guess, just different with Ada now, because with our diagnosis, I just look at her and know how lucky we are.
Yep.
And it's one thing to be grateful for your child and know how lucky you are to be their mom. It's a whole nother thing to look at your child and know how much more they can be affected by their diagnosis. And so every single hug, every single smile, every look of eye contact, you know, watching her run, like every single thing.
oh, I bet you're just seeing everything with this whole new lens right
It's a
now.
whole new lens, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm also terrified of the future. So I'm trying, when I'm with her, I'm trying, and it's not hard. Like, she's incredible. It's not hard to live in the moment and just like, oh my gosh.
It is hard though. I have a really hard time living in the moment.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a learned, well, for me, it's been a learned experience to live in the moment.
Right.
So,
Oh, that's all my brain will let me do. So
oh my God, not me. I'm always looking ahead.
listen, it's not necessarily a good way to be, but
Sounds like it to me. That's why we're here, folks.
I do love toothpaste.
All right, should I close this out?
Do you want to do mom wins first or next?
Oh yeah, weird wins.
Hashtag weird win.
Oh yeah. What did I say? Mom wins?
Mom wins. What the fuck is that?
It's my
Weird
loud
win.
cocktail getting to me.
Ellie has clothes on today, guys.
Yeah.
We built this new icon and it's so funny. It's a picture of Ellie's face, but then she has like fake hair and a stick figure body. And then we cut out clothing on her. So when we're at home and no one's here, she can just be in underwear. So just the underwear stick to the character. And when people are here, just a shirt and underwear are acceptable. Today we put pants and a shirt on and she's wearing pants and a shirt. And she said, just like Ian, which is her ABA therapist. And I'm like, yeah, we're wearing clothes just like Ian today.
Sweet.
No, like I'm fully dressed, you ass face. No, just kidding.
Yeah. What about me?
But it was really precious. So weird win for the day. Ellie's wearing clothes and she
Yeah.
happily wore them and still is wearing clothing. So that's my weird win for the day.
The picnic that was set up, was that including for me or was that
Yes,
just for
I said
you?
Morgan's coming over today. We're going to podcast. I was like
Oh my
giving her a heads up.
gosh.
And she built us an entire picnic. I actually posted some pictures on our on socials. I was
Good.
like, look at she definitely made us.
She gave us a podcast
and
picnic.
She was like, Ellie, wait, or she didn't know what she was trying to say, and I was like, Ellie's a waitress, and she was like, waitress Ellie, waitress L. It was precious.
Oh my gosh. And then I got here and she was so excited to show me and serve me a
I told her
grape.
Morgan's coming. Morgan here. Morgan.
So sweet. Yeah, I think my weird win is that Ada hung with the girl gang
I
at
love
the
that.
sisters.
I love that so much.
At the soccer field, yeah.
What were their age groups?
It was like there was a 2-year-old, someone probably kind of close to Ada's age, and then a 3rd grader.
And they were just romping around.
It was just a gang of sisters.
Oh,
and
I love that so much.
And then the 3rd grader, she was so sweet because, you know, Ada, a lot of times, if she's not fully comfortable, she'll just kind of like stare
Yep.
and not say anything. And so she came over and she's like, Morgan, I was just wondering, what grade is Ada?
Oh, stop it.
And I was like, oh, she's in kindergarten. And then they like romped. She's like, okay, you know. And Ada was standing right
like,
there.
got it. Younger
yeah.
than me. I can do this.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
and
that.
then
See, kids really do need labels sometimes.
Sometimes.
She's like, I didn't need to know if she was special needs or not, but she's like, what grade is she in? Because I can understand that shit.
right. And
She's like, great,
and
little
in
kid.
that moment, that really meant a lot because they were playing
that.
essentially without a lot of language.
Yep.
And it just goes to show how
fucking
resilient
play.
kids are, because, I mean, I've seen kids who don't speak the same language
Yep.
come together and play without a problem.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, it's
kind of the same thing.
us adults who, you know, kind of
Love that.
have those constructs that get in the way.
The barriers.
The barriers, thank you, that
Yep.
get in the way, yeah. And then the third grader also helped her go over and buy her own snow cone.
Oh.
And she comes over with like a wad of, like 3 ones in a wad, you know, just kind of, and I was like, you know.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that
Yeah.
that was good then.
Yeah. It was huge, because I've seen, you know, we've divided and conquered for out of town soccer weekends a lot. And so Ada hasn't been around as much as the other girls, and I've seen them romp around and just like wondered what Ada would do.
And Ada was right there romping around.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes my heart so happy
Yeah,
for
it
you
was
guys.
a huge win. Yeah. So anyway.
Good.
Okay.
Good win. Okay, I would like to just close this out with something that I really like. So maybe we do miss who we used to be sometimes, but also she didn't know what we know now. She didn't have this kind of strength, this kind of perspective, or know this kind of intense love. And if you're somewhere in between, not fully who you used to be and not totally sure who you are now, that doesn't mean you're lost. It just means you're in the middle of becoming someone new. And whether it feels like it or not, you're still mildly crushing it.
Oh, shut up.
Bum, bum, bum.
Fuck yes.
So, to those out there who feel maybe like you lost your old self, I hope that you can try to at least find a couple little gems of beauty in who you are and who you are becoming because of this journey we're on. Because let's be really real, it does change you to your fucking core and your
To
being.
your fucking core.
And we'd be lying to say that that's not true.
Yeah.
So I hope that you can spend time and find who you are and realize that it can be fucking great.
Absolutely.
So
Can I close this out with what the cashier teller told me?
yes, go.
'Cause it's even funnier when you realize that I overpaid times $200 for gift cards.
So dead. I'm literally dead still about this story.
But back to the grocery store where I was buying said packs of,
Said $50 in gift cards that
Gift
were.
cards.
$40 in gift cards that were.
that was just, it added up to $200. At this particular grocery store, you have to bag your own groceries. So I'm bagging, and the teller's talking to me, and he saw our sweatshirt and asked about our logo. And so I said, oh, it's actually my own podcast that my girlfriend and I started. And there was a special needs adult gentleman behind me just also yapping it up with me. And it just, everything just was feeling so serendipitous. And the teller, one of my cards wasn't working from one account, so I had to transfer funds, and it was a whole mess. It
They
was
don't
one
take
of those,
credit cards at this grocery store, by the way. It's
It was just
debit
like-
card only or cash.
and one of those like embarrassing times when like you have to, okay, can you check them out first? You
Right.
know,
Hold,
it was
please.
like, ugh. But anyway, I finally get back to check out, and he goes, hey, you know what? You're crushing it mildly.
I love that so fucking much.
And if he only knew how mildly crushing it I was in that moment, spending
I just love that he said
what,
that.
$150 extra that I didn't need to spend. Like, you know, he said that, and I'm like, okay, $500 right here. Like, I did, you know.
I love it. I freaking love it. Cheers to mildly crushing it.
Cheers.
'Cause we are.
Yes, we are.
Thank you guys for joining us today. Cheers.
Cheers.
Love you.
Love you.
We did it. Bum, bum, bum.